And there you see my grandparents celebrating their 50th wedding anniversary in 1967. What I remember most about my grandparents, around 3 o'clock every day, they got dressed and they had a front porch, and they would sit out on that front porch until late evening. They would go inside to hear the news in the evening. And they held court. It was a different day. People had time. They just sat out there and people would come and stop and talk and chat, and they always had time for everybody. Now, Mr. Randol, he attended the old government high school located in Victoria Court off Bay Street. And upon graduating from high school, his father was unable to send him off to further his education. Instead, he articled him as a law student in the offices of Mr. T. Augustus Tooth, who was a very prominent and outstanding barrister at law. Mr. Randol, he gained much experience and knowledge in Mr. Tooth's office, and he said that all of the books and facilities in the busy office were put at his disposal. He did lament the fact, however, that Mr. Tooth never paid him a dime. And he said that Mr. Tooth just used him to amass a great amount of money for himself, never even gave him a Christmas card. But anyway. Now, although Sir Randol never had the opportunity to go to college, he was a lifelong scholar. And to me, I just think it's amazing that somebody who never had an opportunity to go off was able to achieve so much. But he was an avid reader. And when I think of Dad in the home, I always picture him sitting at the kitchen table, a table outside on the patio, or in his library, constantly reading. He was not given to domestic chores, but when he retired, you know, and he was around the house. I think my mother was successful in getting him to hang some clothes on the line and take out the garbage, but that was the extent of it. But always reading, writing, studying. And he wasn't given to reading light literature. He read the great books of the Western world. In fact, I remember the day when those books came into our house. We were still living on Macpherson Street. He read biographies and autobiographies of famous men and women. And so he gave himself an excellent liberal arts education. And this is just a picture of one of the views in Dad's library. We used to beg him, please stop buying books. He would bring the books in and hide them. And we've given away so many books, but still a lot of the books remain. And those are his great books of the Western world. Now, he was an avid sportsman. I never saw him in action. I guess all of that happened before my time. But he thoroughly enjoyed cricket and swimming. And he always told us how he was involved in swimming competitions, and he swam from Prince George Wharf all the way to Montague Beach, and my mother attests to that. So he was a very strong swimmer. And here he is, pictured with members of the cricket club. And you will see him kneeling. I think it's fifth from the right. Okay. And there you have Dad. In fact, the day before he passed, he wasn't feeling very well, but one of the last things he asked us to do for him was to take him to Goodman's Bay to swim. There's Mom. I don't know if she realized I would have this picture there, and there's Dad. Guess he was trying to protect her from all the admirers. All right. Now, in 1948, Sir Randol successfully completed his legal studies, and he was called to the Bahamas bar. And at this time, he became very involved in civic life. For a short period of time, he was the president of the Old Scholars Association at the Government High School, And he also joined the Citizens Committee and became an activist in various causes. One such cause that engaged Sir Randol was that of calling for the establishment of a Court of Appeal. In his maiden address that he gave when he was called to the Bahamas bar in 1948, he noted that because courts do err, there was a need for a Privy Council to correct the mistakes of the Supreme Court. Perhaps, he stated, someday even the Bahama Islands will have a Court of Appeal. And in the picture in front of you, we have a copy of the petition that was drafted to present to the Speaker and members of the House of Assembly in November 1950. And some of the signatories of that petition are still with us today. I see Cypriana Bethel, Fletcher Now, and Dorothy Davis Phillips, Felix Johnson, Shirley Wright. All of these would be very well-known persons in the community. Now, because the government of the day was not interested in being associated with the University of the West Indies, located at the time in Kingston, Jamaica, he also launched a movement to lobby for the Bahamas to participate in the university scheme of the West Indies. So these are some of the causes that he involved himself in shortly after his call to the bar. In 1948, Sir Randol wrote his first book, You Should Know Your Government. We still have just one copy of that left. And it's an 8-page booklet devoted to the study of citizenship. And that book was revised in 1962 and renamed The Bahamas Government. In 1952, Sir Randol, along with other prominent citizens in the country, established the People's Penny Savings Fund. And if you look to the left of that photograph, you'll see a corner, and that was the corner through which we lived. There were so many names for that corner: McPherson Street, Penny Savings Bank Corner, Bank Lane, Purity Bakery Corner. Whatever came into people's mind, that's what they said. But that's where we lived, right at the end of the corner. And I remember during my childhood years running back and forth. He would always give us a shilling or 6 pence and tell us to go to the bank and make a deposit. I think somebody's at the door outside. Here we have in front of Sir Randol's lower chambers on East Street, we have the directors of the People's Penny Savings Fund. And there they are posing for a photograph. Some of the persons